Okay, hi, I'm back, and this is finally the Step 8 video. Been a while, took a big break. It's still COVID, and I'm working on the amends and restitution list that is in the Step 8. It's in the description box. There's a PDF attached to the box here that you can print this off, and this is what it looks like. All right, that's the amends and restitutions list. And the list has a little box on the left-hand side, and that's a place that you can put a plus or minus of whether you're willing to make an amends to this person or not. And then whom did I harm? And then the harm that I caused. And then the last column is to make the amend, I will. And then we're going to write that down. I still say go from top to bottom. Obviously, the first column is the plus or minus. We'll wait on that. To whom, whom did I hurt? And then I write those names from top to bottom, and then the harm that I caused. And I just want to make a little note here. So if we went back to the vet for my example that I used in the other videos, with the harm that I caused, I talked smack about him all around town. I slandered his name. I said things that I perceived to be true. So here we are with this idea of fancied or real. By now, I start to get a sense of, my part in this situation. Again, keeping the vet and his part out of it, I am really looking for my part here. I saw that in step 4, especially in the resentment inventory in that last column. That fourth column has what my part was. And then I want to say the harm that I caused. I can see it clearly, especially if I did a thorough job in step 5 and talked about this. And I could see the pattern. I could see somebody help me point it out, my part in this. And so I know someone commented on one of the videos about what's my part, that it's not about my part, it's my mistake. Listen, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, obviously everybody has a part. What I'm trying to do here is to take the blame off of anybody else and accept my part of what I did, because that's the only thing I can do anything about. And that's that last column in the 4th step in the resentment inventory is one of the greatest gifts that we have. It's because it talks about my part in my experience. And that's the only thing that I can do anything about. So this is what we have now, is that I want to see, well, who did I hurt? And what did I do, the harm that I caused? And now what can I do to make the amends? And this is where it helps to have a sponsor. It helps to have somebody that you can talk to. A lot of the harm that I did, to my friends and my family especially, is that I robbed them. I robbed them of the experience of being with me, having me present, having me not being, worried or scared or depressed or anxious or, if it's drinking or drugs, clearly those are things that people worry about. People get scared for me. I rob them and myself of the joy of living, because as we go through these steps, you're going to find that the joy starts to return. And if it was never there in the first place, then hold on, because it'll start to come and you'll be shocked. Probably won't have any idea what it is. That's what it is. It's going to be the joy of living, this happy, joyous, and free experience after I do this kind of work. And here's the work: writing the list. That's all we have to do, is just write the list. And then I have the 4-5 columns, examples of, am I ready to, how willing am I? So the willingness is, I'm willing to do this amends and I know where these people are. That's one group. The next group for me is, I'm willing to make these amends and I don't know where they are. That's another group. The next group for me is that I am not willing to make these amends and I don't know where they are. And then there is, I am not willing to make this amend and I have no idea where they are. And I want to just write that name down anyway. It doesn't matter if I know where they are. It doesn't matter if I'm willing. This is what I'm going to be writing down here. And the last column for me anyway is, oh, hell no, no way. I can't see myself ever doing that. That's fine. Just write it down. Put it on paper. And this is how you offer this to your higher power to help you work on this. Just the willingness to write it down is a big step. So then the harm that I caused, and then to make the amend, I will. And the ones that are, oh hell no, or I'm not willing, you put those down anyway, and this is what we start praying on. And it's sort of like in the step 4 column where I wanted to set aside that other person and see my part. I have to pray. And a lot of the times I have to pray for the willingness to be willing to even think about being willing, because I'm so far from being willing. This is something that happens a lot. And the good news about that is that I don't have to just do nothing, that I don't have to just stand still and wait for something to happen. I can take an action, and the action is prayer. Action is really important in this step because I want to keep moving. I don't want to get stuck on step 8. And by the way, it's not step 9. You're not making amends, so do not jump ahead. You are not there yet. And as you will have seen by now, if you've come this far, that when you get to the step you're on, you will have a willingness and an opportunity to do the work that you did not have in the step before, because you have to be willing to go through the motions of the steps in the order that they are written for a reason, a good reason. So this is it, you guys, step 8. And I just want to say, out of the literature of Alcoholics Anonymous, there's some great stuff in here in the 12 and 12. And one of the things that I really want to talk about is the last paragraph of the reading of this step specifically. Whenever our pencil falters, we can fortify and cheer ourselves by remembering what AA 12-step experience in this step has meant to others. It is the beginning of the end of isolation from our fellows and from God. And that is what the recovery is all about, you guys. It's to bring us back into relationship with other people and with a power greater than ourselves that restored us to sanity, because by now we have been restored to sanity, but we have to keep going to keep that sanity. We cannot go backwards. And so I hope that you'll join me on this journey. We'll continue, and I will get back to making these videos. I'm really grateful for the responses that I've already had. It seems like it's helping people, and that's the only reason I'm doing it. So I'm really grateful to be here, and thank you for spending this time with me.